Hi, welcome to Modern Day Deborah, Voice for the Voiceless. My name is Michelle. Thank you for tuning into my channel. For all of my subscribers, welcome back. I know it's been a minute, and I'm so thankful and grateful you guys have hung in there with me. At least I don't think I lost any subscribers. Um, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, you're welcome. And I hope that you will consider subscribing. On this channel, I like to empower women to be all that God created us to be. My platform, if you will, is basically helping women, empowering women to leave abusive relationships. And so a lot of the content that I put on here is basically giving information that will help if you are in that situation. Tonight, I want to help you not get in that situation. We are in the month of October, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And those of you who have been watching my videos, you know that I am a victim advocate. I have been so for 22 years, and I help victims of all crimes, but specifically the majority of the victims I help are victims of domestic violence, and I help both male and female victims. But my target audience on this channel is women, because I want to empower the women to be all God created us to be. And if you're in an abusive relationship, you're not being all God created you to be, because the person in that relationship, if it's abusive, your partner is not going to allow you to be all that God created you to be, because that's how they keep the control in the relationship, by keeping you in a place where you're insecure and you don't feel like you can, that you can be all that God created you to be. And so tonight I'm going to be talking about the warning signs, or rather, I'm going to talk about what domestic violence is, or what an abusive relationship is. And then every night or every day for the next 10 days, I'm going to talk about one of the warning signs. Because if you can detect, or if you can detect that this relationship is abusive before you get vested in it, before you've been in it for a long time, because to be quite honest, the longer you stay in an abusive relationship, the harder it is to get out. You get more invested in it. You invest your time, your heart. You might, if you're married to the person, y'all have, maybe you have children, you've got a home, you've got vehicles, you got jobs, kids are in school. So there's a lot that has to be considered, specifically in, the area of finances. There's a lot that has to be considered when you're talking about leaving a relationship. So that's something to think about. If you can detect that this relationship is abusive, before you get all vested in it and you fall in love with this person, then, that will probably help you. And trust me, you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that's abusive, a narcissist, somebody that's gaslighting you, making you think you crazy, making other people think you crazy. You don't want to be in that kind of relationship. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your if you have children, it's going to affect your family. It affects you and everybody around you. So that's what I want to talk about tonight is, the warning signs. So every night for the next 10 nights, or every day for the next 10 days, I'm going to talk about a warning sign. So I hope that you guys will join me every day to find out what the next sign is. So tonight, well, first let me talk about what domestic violence is. It is a pattern of behavior used by an individual, your partner, to establish and maintain coercive control over you. That person will use different tactics to establish and maintain power and control over you. They will use intimidation. They will use like coercion and threats. They will emotionally abuse you. They will abuse you economically. In other words, if you don't have a job, they really will use that as a means to control you, because they control the finances. And even if you do have a job, maybe they control your finances as well. They will use the children, and then they won't take accountability for the times that specifically if it's abusive, and they don't take accountability for the fact that they were wrong to do that. Or if they do take responsibility for it, they say they did it because it was your fault. So tonight, I really want to just touch bases on what domestic violence is. And then I want to talk about the first warning sign. So it's a pattern of behavior. This person is using certain tactics to keep you in that relationship, to keep you under their thumb, to keep you in a low place to where you won't even think about trying to leave, because they're gonna attack your self-esteem. They're gonna attack, everything about you that you might something that even you may think is positive trait about you. They're gonna use that against you by making you, well, I don't know why you think that. I don't know why you think this, or you good at that, or you look like that. They're going to use every opportunity that they can to tear you down. And that is one of the ways that you will know that this relationship is abusive. So this leads us to the first sign, which is verbal abuse. So if you are in an abusive relationship, or if you want to know whether or not you're in an abusive relationship, one of the ways that you will know, and sometimes this way might be overlooked because, hey, we're all products of our environment. If you grew up in a home and your father was abusive to your mom, and for the son that saw that, he might grow up doing the same thing, being abusive to his wife or his girlfriend, thinking that that's how you treat women. And if you, on the other side, if you were the daughter watching the mom be abused, then you see that as normal as well. So if you see that in the home when you're growing up, you see that as being normal. That's why it's important to know what the warning signs are, because you just may not realize that that is abuse. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is verbal abuse. Watch what is coming out of his mouth. I don't care if he's saying it in a joking way. If he's tearing you down, putting you down, specifically if he knows you're insecure about something, some feature, on your body or your face, or, maybe your size, or if they know that you're insecure about something, that is the main thing they're going to target. That's how you know that is a sign and indication that this person is verbally abusive, because your mate is supposed to build you up, not tear you down, especially if they know that there's something that you might be a little insecure about. If they're targeting that and using that to make you feel bad about yourself, that is an indication that that person is verbally abusive. Like I said, if they call you names, if they make you feel bad about yourself, if they are humiliating you in front of other people, or even, it may not even be in front of other people, but if they're just humiliating you, calling you out your name, putting you down, saying you ugly, saying you fat, or you skinny, too skinny, or you calling you, like I said, calling you out of your name, just making you feel guilty about, always trying to make you feel guilty about something, making you think you're crazy, gaslighting you. Gaslighting, I'm going to get more into that, the gaslighting and narcissists, towards the end. But gaslighting is making you think you crazy and making other people think you crazy, making you feel like, that you can look outside and see that the sky is blue, and they will say, that sky ain't blue, that sky purple. You need to get some glasses. Yeah, and you looking right at the sky, the sky is blue. Or they did something to you, and they know that they did it to you, and you'll say, well, you did this, or you said that. And I'm like, I ain't say that. Gaslighters, they will look you right in your face and lie straight to your face, because their goal is to make you question your own sanity. Their goal is to make you think that you are crazy, because if you crazy, or if you feel like you crazy, they make you feel like you crazy. Then at some point in time, after a while, you get gaslighted, so much to the point that you don't even feel comfortable with your own mind, or your own sanity, or your own point of reference or your own mindset. You don't, it's like that person makes you literally feel like they're the only person that you can depend on for what reality is. They make you question your own sanity. They make you question your reality. They make you question, they do think, and specifically with the gaslighting, one of the big things is they'll cheat on you. They will cheat on you and of course lie about it. But then, even if at some point in time they got caught, and then, now y'all are talking about this subject or bringing the subject up, and he'll say, I ain't never tell you that. I never said that. I never did that. Literally just, it's like a game to them. Like they will play mind games with you. It's literally a game to them. So that's one of the things that they will do. They will play mind games with you. They will make you think that you're crazy, and they will make other people think that you're crazy. So when you decide that you want to leave a relationship, or you're saying, what's going on in a relationship, and you don't know, why he's treating you this way or why this is happening, he done already got to them and told them you crazy. So they probably won't even think nothing. They won't think two things about it, because he's already got to them and told them that you're crazy. So it makes you question your own reality, your own point of reference. And they basically, so that they can be your only point of reference. Like, so you look to them for everything. Like for your, you don't know what's real anymore. You don't know what's reality anymore. You don't, I'm telling you, women that have been in relationships, and it's usually the narcissists that are doing the gaslighting. So, and that's probably going to be one of the, I think that's that's day 10 when I'm talking about the narcissist. But tonight I'm talking about the verbal abuse, which is, it's emotional abuse, the gaslighting. Like I said, the verbal abuse, it will cause you to feel like like you just, I'm telling you, I've seen women who have been in those kind of relationships for a long period of time. They literally, you meet them like maybe a few years ago, and they were very independent. They had their own place. They had their own car. They had a job. They were, like very, very well put together. And then you see them years later, and they can't even drive themselves to the store. They can't. They literally have gotten to the point where they are totally dependent on this person. And, it's very, very sad to see. And it could happen to anybody. And this is one of the things that's why we don't have nobody has a right to judge anybody, because it could happen to anybody. You don't know, because look, abusers don't walk around with an A on their forehead. You don't know if this person is abusive, because for the most part, they gonna turn on the charm like you wouldn't believe. Like they are going to love bomb you to death. They're gonna make you think that they are just the most charming, loving, kind person you ever want to meet. They will do everything that you maybe thought you ever wanted in a person. And if you're not looking for the warning signs, because they can't hold on to that for a long period of time, because after a while the real person is going to come out. And one of the ways, and I think this is one of the signs too, is they have that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality. They're one way in public and then another way behind closed doors. And so this verbal abuse is something that you can look for like early on in the relationship, because you can't hide who you are for very long. After a while, the real person gonna come out. Test them, and how they act when they get mad. Be with them in the car, and they at Walmart and somebody pull into their parking space. Do they get mad? How they act? Cuss them out? What they do? You have to really see this person. Don't just pay attention to how he's treating you or talking to you. You need to pay attention to how he's treating other people and talking to them. Specifically, ladies, you want to pay attention to how he talked to his mama, how he treat his mama. If he disrespect his mama, he gonna disrespect you, period. If he disrespect his own mama, he gonna disrespect you. So you need to pay attention to how is he talking, what is coming out of his mouth. Pay attention to what is coming out of his mouth. I don't care if he say, "Oh, I was just joking. You just being too sensitive. You just need, just anything." I mean, they could even be criticizing not just how you look or things that you do or things that you say. They could even criticize something you went to the store and bought. Why you bought that? Ew, that's ugly. I don't like that. Or, that don't nobody like that. I mean, it's just pay attention to what is coming out of his mouth. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care how sweet he is. You need to pay attention to what's coming out of his mouth. What is he saying with his mouth? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So whatever he's saying, that's coming from his heart. And you can say he's joking if you want to, but if he's calling you names and putting you down and criticizing you, criticizing what you do, criticizing what you say, criticizing what you like, criticizing what you wear, you got to pay attention to that. And I'm not saying, this is just my experience, and it will help you, and it is an indication to you that this person is verbally abusive. Now, if the person is verbally abusive, there's a good possibility that verbal abuse is going to escalate to being physical at some point. Specifically, if the person got a bad temper and they throwing stuff at the wall, or when they get mad, they throwing stuff or whatever, yelling at you. I mean, you are a grown woman. They ain't got no business yelling at you, talking to you like you 2 years old. No, ma'am. So if that's what's going on, you really need to pay attention to that. And like I said, hey, look, we got all this stuff around us, stuff on TV, videos, social media, all this other stuff giving you ideas of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. And so, I mean, don't let that be your point of reference. You have to understand that if you are in an abusive relationship, it can ruin you for the rest of your life. It can mentally affect you for the rest of your life, even after you get out of it. Even after you get out of a verbally or emotionally abusive relationship, it don't have to be physical. It may not have ever gotten physical. But some of the worst cases that I've seen is from women who have been emotionally abused for years. For years, they've been with this person, emotionally abusing them. And then it could just be that it finally got to the physical aspect of it. Because you could be with somebody for literally years and they never put a hand on you because they don't need to. If they can control you with their words, they don't need to. They don't need to put a hand on you. It escalates because they're trying to keep that control. They're trying to, exert more and more power and control over you. So if they can control you verbally, they don't need it. It may not ever get physical, but in most cases, it's going to escalate to physical. So you really want to pay attention to this sign. So if you are in a relationship, and or if you're married, because some people are married and they're in abusive relationships and they don't know it, because they feel like because the person hasn't physically harmed them that the relationship is, that it's not abusive. But abuse comes in many forms. And one of those forms, of course, we know is physical, but it's also verbal. It is emotional, psychological, sexual, economical. There's a lot of ways that you can be abused in a relationship. So I don't really want to make the videos too long since I'm going to be bringing one every day, but I just kind of got, going on that definition and making sure that you pay attention to the warning signs and pay attention to what's coming out of his mouth. What is he saying? How is he treating you? How is he talking to you? How is he talking to other people? How is he talking to your children? How does he react, verbally when something is going on that he doesn't like or makes him angry? watch what's coming out of his mouth. Pay attention to what's coming out of his mouth. So like I said, for the next 10 days, I'm going to bring a warning sign that you may be in an abusive relationship. I'm also going to bring a scripture. So tonight's scripture is Luke 6:45. And this is the New Living Translation. It says, a good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart, and an evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart. What you say flows from what is in your heart. In other words, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So don't believe them when they say, oh, I was just joking. Oh, you being too sensitive. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So that is the first video for this series. Like I said, for the next 10 days, I'll upload a new warning sign. So remember, tonight's warning sign was verbal abuse. Remember to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And I hope to see you all again on tomorrow. Be blessed.